I'm Reen Schwarzer, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast. Microphones, activate!
Hello, and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick. Joining me, as always, is Shadow.
What's up, guys?
And Taylor.
Yo.
Yeah, it's been a good week. 2 new games that both of you guys have been playing, so we'll be able to talk about those. I haven't really work last week was inventory week, so that was very fun. I haven't been able to do much.
Oof.
So
inventory's the worst.
Yeah, that's the worst. I remember working, and inventory is just the worst. Inventory already? Isn't it January? I thought inventory is usually like a spring thing.
So we have inventories in January, end of January, beginning of February, and during the summer in August.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's the worst, man. That's like second to holidays. Like as soon as November hits, that's like the worst thing. No, it's that holidays, back to school. Those are like the worst ones.
Yep.
Yeah. Inventories is an overnight shift, so I work like 7:30 to 4 a.m. It was fun.
Oh, yeah. Then the managers are extra anal about inventory. Oh my god.
Yep.
Yep. So I haven't been able this. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a PS2 right here. This PS2 has been on for a whole week, and I haven't touched it. It's just been on because
why has it been on?
Because it's running Shadow Hearts 2 right now, and it's unpaused.
Oh, okay.
So I just left it on.
This man likes to live dangerously.
Well, I think I'm pretty sure I save it. I usually save it and then press pause, so that because when you press pause, the time doesn't run.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, and usually I just leave it on because I'm going to play later, but I just haven't had time to play. So, but you guys have had time to play, so let's move straight on to it. Let's go with Ryza because thighs rule all. So we're going to start with Ryza 2, and I have not played it. Only Shadow has. Taylor's played Ease, and I played Ryza 1. Compare it to Ryza 1, Shadow. What is it better? Is it worse? Is it?
I think it's a step up in every direction. Honestly, the battle system's much more involved than the first game. Graphically, the game has picked it up. You got weather effects and rain so far. I haven't seen any others. The city is more dense. Well, you're in the city now, so there are more buildings and there's more people. Even though some of those people you can just walk right through, it still adds to the overall like atmosphere of the game. And seeing that Ryza has gone from the country to the big city. What else? The alchemy has remained the same. It's pretty much unchanged, except now you have a sort of skill tree for your items. And the more you unlock on that, the more recipes you can get, and the more, I guess, adventuring tools that you can also get as well. In dungeons, they actually give you a lot more stuff to do. Like you'll have to find these, I guess, notes and items for each dungeon, so you can create special items so you can get further in the dungeon. It's a nice little thing to do and to learn more about the history of the world and the dungeon that you're in, or the ruins as they call them. I gotta be honest, for me, I ain't really paying attention to none of that. Like you really have to do it to progress the story, and they have all these little entries for each thing that you find. But I'm just like, okay, does this part fit? Does this part fit? This part doesn't fit. This part doesn't fit. I don't really care. Like it's not a big deal for me. And it's good for people that want to see it and want to know more lore about the world of Atelier Ryza and stuff like that. But for me, I'm not interested. I do not care. The combat definitely sees the nice step up. Before in the first game, you had like core items in which you could use during battle, and that governed which items you could use when you equipped them onto your characters. But here you can get as much core I think it's called coral crystals as you can make during battle. So during battle, you got your combos, and if you combo into a special or you just use a special attack, you gain more core crystals, and now will allow you to use your items. And that's pretty cool because I felt in the first game it was really limiting to what you can do. And in the first game, if you ran out of core crystals, it's like you had to break down an item that you had equipped to do it, and that took forever to do. And in the heat of battle, it's like you're getting hit, you're constantly getting hit. Okay, I need to break down this item so I can heal, and then all of a sudden my character goes down. I'm like, Okay, not a big deal because the game is pretty much easy. That rarely ever happens. That happened during probably one boss battle, and then the final boss battle. That was the only time I really cared about it, so it wasn't that big of a deal here. But here in Ryza 2, it's a lot more flexible. You also can guard against an enemy attack, or not really guard. You can really just hit the defend button at the right time, and you can reduce damage, which makes you pay attention to your surroundings, see if enemies to the left or to the right of you. It's like an indicator that tells you an enemy is getting ready to attack you, so you can defend. And if you defend at the perfect time, you get a more adds to your AP, which AP pretty much governs how much you can attack and use how many times you can use your special skills for the most part. There's a lot going on in battle that I think it's honestly one of the better turn-based battle systems that I've seen. A lot of people are sleeping on this game because we like to joke about the thighs and Ryza itself and stuff like that.
People on our Discord are joking about your live stream.
Thick thighs on the man.
Was great.
The thing about it is like that thumbnail I had planned to stream it with the Ryza 1, but I never got around to streaming Ryza 1, and I'm like, this thumbnail is literally gonna go to waste. I'm not doing this. I'm using this thumbnail for something. So yeah, I decided to use that thumbnail. It was a pretty cool stream. We were like really going crazy about the thighs, but yeah, I might joke about the thighs. I might joke about how hot Ryza is, but I keep saying it. I keep saying it until people actually believe me. If there wasn't a good game, if it wasn't good gameplay, it wasn't a good battle system here, I would not stick around. And this battle system is amongst the top battle systems I've seen since probably the start of the PS4 generation to now. Honestly, it's definitely within the top 10 at least
for Atelier games.
For Atelier game. Just in general, no. In general.
Oh, in general. Oh, okay, nice.
Wow.
In general,
how does it work exactly? I've seen some footage, but it's kind of hard to tell, when things are just happening automatically, or you're inputting buttons or whatever.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of button inputting. I kind of low key explained it already. It's like an active turn-based battle system. You press buttons to do combos. You can attack 1, 2, or 3 times, and the more you have a tactical level, the more times you can attack them normally, which then gives you more an opportunity to use your special skills, honestly. Cool. Yeah, it's something you really probably got to see in action and play it a little bit more to really appreciate it. But nice. It's a really good system, and like I said, people are sleeping on it because of the thighs and stuff like that. Don't. It's just a meme at this point. Honestly. The game is actually good.
How long? Okay, this is a different question. How long is the first one? How long did it take you to beat it?
I want to say maybe 35 hours, probably.
So it's like a shorter RPG then?
Yeah, it's like a shorter game, really, especially if you don't do a bunch of the side activities like side quests and whatnot. But I find in at least probably in all Atelier games, you might want to do the side quests because you get extra items and you get more recipes that you can use to create more items. And the item creation is pretty fun. It's pretty fast. It's pretty straightforward. You don't have to do all that much. You could actually hit auto on the item creation. It'll take the lowest quantity ingredients or lowest high quality ingredients or whatever, and they'll just mix them together and you can do whatever you want. It's just you don't have to do much.
I always feel like I'm missing out when I do crafting. Like, am I doing the right thing? Is there a better combination?
Yeah, not really. You can pay attention to the effects and the tracks and stuff like that, but you don't really have to go too far deep into it if you don't want to. Your best bet to getting new armor and getting new weapons is doing the alchemy a lot more because they don't sell the items. They don't sell weapons in stores, really, I think. And plus, even if they do, you get better from creating them yourself. So that's what you might want to do. But yeah, from every way, this game has received a step up. It's definitely one of the best way to start the new year when it comes to JRPGs, from what I'm seeing so far.
Oh, yeah, look, found it. It's the first one.
Right, nice.
Yeah,
cool. No, I mean it looks awesome. I watched Alex's review from Backlog Battle, and yeah, it looks really good, and even the story seems like pretty interesting because I think the first game I played like a dozen or so hours, and it was sort of like about, oh, we're young, let's have adventures while we're young. And then I guess Ryza 2 is 3 years later. Now it's like they're all adults, but they want to kind of get back together. Is that more or less kind of the general setup?
More or less for the most part. Somebody asked Ryza for help basically, and she went to the big city, and then she's running into all our old friends and stuff like that, and new ones as well.
Gotcha.
For the most part. Which, oh my god, this is a new character. He got the dumbest name, and not the dumbest name, but the most boring name and the most out of left field characters I have ever seen in my fucking life. Like, I almost want to make a video about top 5 like terrible character designs of JRPGs, because he's definitely one of them. His name is Clifford, and he has, oh my god, he got so much stupid shit going on. He got a hat, he's got like a half shirt, he's got pockets on his chest, on his nipples. He got it's the dumbest design I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, you're trying too hard. The design probably would have been okay if you got rid of the hat. He has a hat with like holes all in it. It's stupid.
He looks weird. He looks like if they made Scarecrow from Batman an anime character, that's what he would look like.
Yes, that's a good way to describe him. That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
I'm like, the hat is so unnecessary. I'm like, yo, take off the hat, man. That's what I did. I literally, like, there's a costume you can use, and just so you can remove the hat, and I used that costume from him. And I don't like the costume, but I'm saying, after I get these other characters, once Link gets to this party and the other girl goes to the party, I'm never using you at all, ever. Like, it's just dumb. Your character design is dumb.
So this is what you say. This is what you call an overly designed character.
Yes,
it's too much.
Absolutely. It's just too freaking much, man. I'm like, what are you guys thinking with this one? Is this supposed to be for girls or something like that? Because he's got his like abs showing or something like that. Maybe that's the case. I don't know, but still, that is dumb.
Probably.
Oh my god. But other than that, game is sound, game is good. I would give it probably give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Nice.
I wish they would take the time to give it a dub, an English dub, because I was saying to myself, I think last night I was playing it after the podcast or before the podcast. I was saying I would probably connect to these characters more if they spoke in English and they had a good English dub. And I'm pretty sure at this point, the Ryza, pretty much Ryza 1 and 2 have made enough money for Koei Tecmo and Guts to say, okay, we need a dub. We can have English dub in here, because the games haven't been dubbed since, I want to say, 2017. The 2 games that haven't been dubbed.
Been a minute, yeah.
But their reason for not doing it is because they want to keep the same momentum, and they don't want to have like 6 months out before when the Japanese release drops and the English release, because the Japanese release of this game came out last month, and the English release is this month. So they want to just have the same momentum, and they don't want it to die down, which I completely understand. But I definitely could have waited 5 months for a dub on this one.
But they want to spend all the money on making new Warriors games, all right?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. And of course, like we've all speculated, there's going to be a third Ryza game.
Of course,
there's going to be a third one.
This sold pretty well in Japan. I think it sold like 250,000 copies its first week or something like that.
Damn, that's good. For Atelier, that's good.
Yeah, right?
For a niche title, that's good. That's really good. So
the power of thighs.
Yeah.
That's right.
I just hope maybe with the third game they can maybe work together with the Japanese development and just make the English dub as they go along, maybe, or something like that, so they can release within a month from each other. I think that's what this is missing. This is missing an English dub, and it would be so much better if it did have one. A good one, obviously. But the thing about that is, like the number of people that play it, they always can bitch and complain about English dubs and stuff like that. But as long as you get the dual audio option, who's it hurting? Really? So, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if before Ryza came out, I wonder if they stopped doing dubs for budgetary reasons. Like they just doing it wasn't going to justify it. But now that it's such a big franchise, I wonder if if they indeed make it a trilogy after the third game, maybe they'll just do dubs from then on out, or maybe even in 3. Who knows?
Yeah, I think definitely with budget reasons, it just wasn't justifying it at all to do a dub when it didn't sell all that much. Maybe it sold a decent amount within like a year, but not within like the quarter they expected it to sell. But now Ryza is just shattering that completely.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting. A buddy of mine, my podcast, he pretty much said that no other Atelier games exist. It's only Atelier starts with Ryza. Everything else prior is completely irrelevant.
Yeah, just like Persona 3 was the first Persona game, right?
And Tales of Symphonia was the first Tales game. I know.
Basically, yeah.
I know. Now all the old Atelier fans are now feel the pain that I feel whenever people talk about Tales of Symphonia all the time. It's like, no, stop.
Yeah, they are. I feel sorry. I feel sorry for the Atelier fans who have been there since day one and been playing the games.
Oh, dude, I've been there since Verona. I remember when we first played Verona, Nick, and it was so bright. You kept saying how bright it was.
Yeah, I was trying to sleep, and my entire room was freaking bright. It was like extreme. It was so bright that it was like reflecting off my walls and still shining in my eyes.
Yeah,
that was old time, long time ago.
Yep, good game though.
Yeah,
is it though? Is it?
I mean, Ryza is probably way better, but
yeah, way better. Wow, way better. And it's crazy because the other Atelier games, they do have good battle systems. They're just not as popular, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, Taylor had this saying back in the day where he says Atelier games are like the Madden of JRPGs. They come out every year.
Yep.
And the older ones, you definitely feel that, like, because they feel like budget or JRPGs.
Yeah.
And Ryza has stepped beyond that a little bit. I mean, you can still feel it in Ryza 1. I don't know in Ryza 2, but it's like way better than the other ones. Like it's
absolutely,
yeah, it is definitely steps above, but it still feels like a budget game.
Yeah, they actually stepped the game up on Ryza. I don't know why. Maybe they just came on a new engine or something like that, and they decided to show it off or something. But yeah, and Ryza 2 definitely has more attention to detail when it comes to some of its cutscenes. A bit, but yeah, you could definitely still feel it's a budget title, but it's done on a much better scale.
It doesn't have invisible 3D models with characters that are like not even there, but they're talking somehow.
I mean, there's some transparent models, that I just walked through in the city. Absolutely, yeah, to give the city a more denser look, but not to destroy the frames per second. Not destroy the frame rate. So
it's like the shadow people in this Persona 5 world, right? Not like shadows, but the people there's cutouts.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. You can just walk right through them. And I'm like, okay, I guess I can give that a pass because they're trying to give that big city feel without interfering with the frame rate. So, okay, fine, you get a pass.
So you would recommend this game? Like everyone should play it?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. If you're not looking, like we said, it's still a budget title, so don't expect some heavily cinematic game during cutscenes. It's a lighthearted adventure, so don't expect to kill God at the end. So just go in there with some tempered and decent expectations. And I think you'll have a good time. It's a relatively easy game, especially if you keep up with your item creation and stuff like that. It's a relatively easy game. I'm playing on hard. You can't unlock the very hard, and I think it's called charismatic difficulties until you beat the game. I probably would have started out very hard if I could, but it's a relatively easy game, especially if you keep up with everything.
It's good to hear. I just read online just a little bit ago that Sakuna Rise of Ruin has topped 850,000 sales.
When did that come out?
November, I think.
850,000 sales?
Yeah.
Shit.
That's pretty good for I think only 2 people made that game.
What is it? What is that game? Is it an RPG?
It's kind of.
It's like an action. It's like an action platformer RPG stuff thing, right?
So
Gloss Taylor.
It's like I've been playing a little bit of it. It's like a traditional what am I trying to say? Like Vanillaware game, like a side-scrolling like hack and slash, and then there's like this farming aspect where you're trying to grow rice. It's not as intensive so far as like a Harvestman game, but you have to kind of keep an eye on it. So you have to kind of balance that.
So it's weird. It goes 3D style to do like everyday tasks like farming and talking to people, I guess, in the hub world or town or something like that. But then it goes like Dragon's Crown, Odin Spear, Muramasa during gameplay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I just saw that. I'm like, wow, that actually sold a lot. So, but let's talk about the next game, Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
You've been waiting to break this game for a long time. Ys 9.
Okay.
is not even out yet. You've just been playing it.
By the time this podcast comes out, it'll be out.
Oh no. Yeah.
I swore up and down the game was already out. I thought it came out Friday. I don't know what was wrong, man.
Well, the embargo was Friday.
Okay.
But game is out Tuesday the 2nd. So.
Okay.
Oh, before we go on, funny thing is, I was thinking about buying Ryza 2, right? When the last episode we were talking about it, I was like, oh, I'm going to pre-order it on the PS4. And I look at my Steam, and it says Ryza 2 coming out like very soon. I'm like, wait, what? And I look at it. Oh, I've already pre-ordered it on the computer. Totally forgot I did.
Oops.
It's like, good thing I didn't buy it again. So
Yeah,
I own it.
right.
I own it now, so I'll play it.
Oh, that's good.
I own it on PC, not on PS4, so
Get all those nice mods.
to get those nice mods. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So back to Ys 9. How is it, Taylor?
Yes.
Compared to let's not compare it to the best. Let's compare it to 8. How does it compare to 8?
So it is very derivative of 8 in that the combat system is almost identical. 3-party, you have 3 characters in your party, swap on the fly. There's flash guard, flash dodge. You have 4 abilities you can assign with, like you hit R1 and then a face button. The only thing that's different is instead of like a super move that you can release immediately, you enter sort of like an enhanced state for a short period of time where you can do more damage and your health refills a little bit. But other than that, it's pretty much the same combat system. There's a lot of like game features, mechanics that are similar, but they've been like repackaged. So instead of like a camp, you have this bar that it turn into like your base. So whenever you go on side quests and you recruit characters, they all are in the bar. So instead of having to go all over town to like find food merchants and an armor merchant and a potion maker, they're all just in your bar, which is really convenient. So like after you clear a chapter or something like that, you can just make a little lap around the bar and instead of having to go all over town. And then raids. There are raids, but I feel like they're worse. So I felt what I liked about the raids in Ys 8 was they appeared like in different spots and they were like there was a well-designed map to it and you could put the little defenses up. This one, it's literally just like you have this pillar that you're defending and the waves of monsters all come from the same spot. And so for the first like handful, you're just fighting like it feels like you're just mashing square in front of a portal. It's really uninteresting. Mm-hmm. But then eventually you get like defense pieces that you can set up, and then there's like a separate version of those where they have like these crystals all over the map and you need to destroy all of them before the time runs out. Those are much better because it takes advantage of the new movement system, which I think is the best new feature in Ys 9. And they call them the gifts. So each character, as you recruit them, you unlock a new movement ability. And I'm sure you guys have seen them in trailers and stuff. So like Adal has this ability where there are spots all over the environment that he can just like warp to. One of the characters can run up walls. One can glide. One turns into like a shadow and he can like go under doors and low entryways and stuff. So just moving around the environment is so fun. And the city is gigantic and it's seamless. There's no like sectioned off loading screens. There are for buildings, but not the outside of the city. So you can just run up walls, collect collectibles and do stuff. So that's really, really fun. And of course the music's amazing also, as always.
So is it like, are you just exploring a giant city? Is that like the main world?
Yeah, I mean, you do go outside the city a couple times, but so the general premise is that there's this like parallel plane of existence called the Grimwald Nox that is like threatening to invade the real world. So you're like constantly fighting it back and you're trying to figure out like what the source of it is. And then there's like weird things going on in the prison. So that's what this city is known for, this giant prison. So you have to figure out like what the Grimwald Nox is and what's going on with the prison. And I will say, I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you've been keeping up with the Ys games, there's a lot of really fun nods to past games. And they even reference like, so Mr. Kristen, you seem to be getting in a lot of shipwrecks. What's going on with that? Like they reference all these like tropes from the series, which I thought was really funny. Like it borders on breaking the fourth wall at times. Yeah, it's pretty good though.
That's good to hear. How far are you, or have you beat it?
Oh, I beat it. Yeah.
Let me guess. There's a true ending that you didn't get.
I don't know because the trophies aren't live, so I don't know what the deal is with a true ending. I mean, I can't imagine there being a true ending. There might be though, but when I beat the game, I'm like, yeah, that was pretty satisfying. I don't feel like I missed anything, but because there's not the content is all collectibles. There's not like, I don't know what I could have missed that would have led to a more satisfying ending or a true ending. But I'm guessing the trophies are going to go live at midnight, and so I'll check the trophies and see if there is a true ending.
All right.
So yeah, I did see. I did. I heard your review more than I saw it actually. But yeah, one of the things I'm seeing about it is that this one is definitely a lot more cinematic than the other East games. Like they actually have action movement, I guess, and cutscenes, stuff like that. Just more movement in general, cutscenes. Because one of the things I'm seeing that from Yeast 8 is pretty much it's really basic. Even big moments are just like bare poses and well, that's about it. Nothing else is going on. And that's probably because of the limitation that the game were built from the ground up for Vita.
Yeah.
And I'll say it's both a blessing and a curse that the Vita exists because you get games like Yeast 8, whatever it's called, that just are bare bones games. But then you could see with Yeast 9 that since you don't have that limitation anymore, you could do a lot more things and make the game look a lot more interesting. So I think when I jump into Yeast 9, I'm gonna enjoy that a hell of a lot more than I am with Yeast 8.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I even mentioned that in my review. It's definitely more cinematic, like the way the camera moves, like you said, the way the characters are posed, the way they move. It's very noticeable. Like at first, you're like, something is different about Ys 9. You can't quite put your finger on it at first, but you're like, they're like taking better care of how they present the cutscenes and the story and stuff like that. And if you've been keeping up with the games like Ys 8 or Memories of Celceta or whatever, you're going to notice like almost immediately.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm a little bit afraid of the battle system when I start going to it because, again, I'm pretty late. I'm just now playing Ys 8. So Ys 8 is going to be fresh in my mind probably when I get around to playing this game. Hopefully it comes out this year on PC. But the combat, it seems typical. Like you're doing the same things for the most part. Flash guarding, flash move, or whatever it's called, and then switching characters constantly to take advantage of weapon weaknesses. It just seems like this game really needs to change. Like something else needs to be done for to keep my interest at least. Maybe everybody else loves it. Maybe it's just me, but to keep my interest, I want to see you guys change it. I haven't played every single Ys game, but I played from 7 pretty much up. Ys 7 up. I played for the most part, and I think this is the last time. Just like the Trails games. This is the last time I can stomach this type of battle system. Maybe the battle system at this point is just it's a Ys battle system. That's just the way it is. That's the way it's going to be. And maybe for me, that's just not going to be enough. And maybe I don't know. Maybe I just gotta stop playing or stop complaining and just play the game. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried about the battle system.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Like I said, it's almost identical. I will say that the movement stuff comes into play with bosses later on in cool ways. So like, for example, there's this spider boss that has like, I mean, it like stands above you. It's really tall. And to figure out which leg you need to hit first, one of the characters, their ability is called the third eye. And it can like see hidden objects in the environment or like, you know, hidden switches to find secret doors and stuff. So like you have to use your third eye to find the weak leg, and then you have to hop to the next weak leg. I mean, you're still hacking and slashing using abilities, but they get pretty clever with the movement mechanics. And the final boss is awesome because you have to use all the movement mechanics. Like they have these things. Well, I don't want to spoil it because it's really fun. But that might help a little bit because the movement stuff, like for example, like Adol's little zip thing, he can zip towards enemies and start hacking and slashing. But yeah, I mean, if you don't like Ys 8, then, or if you're getting tired of Ys 8, Ys 9 is not that different.
Okay, fair enough. I'll have that expectation going in and won't be too mad about it. You gonna say something or?
No, I was gonna say you mentioned difficulty with Ryza. This one, I feel like hard is normal because I played on normal and I was destroying everything without even thinking about it, and so I bumped it up to hard, and it put up a little bit of a challenge. And then I bumped it up to nightmare for a boss just to see what would happen, and it was challenging, bordering on frustrating. So I was like, I'll just bump it back down to hard just so I can have fun with it. But I think for Nick, you would probably want to play on Nightmare, since I know you like to bump it up one level above normal usually, right?
I think that's what I played on. He's 8 was the hardest difficulty, and yeah, it was. I mean, it's definitely not. It's not a Taylor thing, because it would be super frustrating, right? Because you would do one thing and then you get hit once and then you're just like dead. And you're like, oh well, I stopped moving for a second and now I'm dead. No, that's cool. Let's restart everything. But
more or less, yeah. So I would fiddle around with it with the difficulty, but definitely don't start any lower than hard. If you like have ever played an action game before, like start on hard.
I was just gonna say, Taylor, maybe it's just because you're getting way better.
I'm also way used to the ease mechanics because, as people may or may not know, I learned the speed run, so I have those. It's like a muscle memory at this point for the dodge rolling and the flash guarding and the flash move. So maybe you're right. But yeah, it was just super easy.
I was playing Ys 8 and I was talking to somebody and he was like, what are you playing on? I'm playing on normal. And he was like, what the fuck is wrong with you playing on normal? I'm like, I'm just trying to get through this game, bro. Like, it's at a certain point where I know I can beat this game. Why am I going to sit here and even try to struggle through it when I know I'm pretty much going to beat this game? Why give myself the hassle? But then I was like, you know what? Fine, let me put it on hard. I threw it on hard. I'm like, this game is still piss easy. Like, and I think that's just what games are doing nowadays. They're really having normal be easy, especially in JRPGs for the most part. Because they don't want to deter anybody. It's already hard enough to get JRPGs into people's hands. They're already niche. You don't want to tear them away by having something hard hit their road when you get to the first boss battle. So maybe just for if you're a avid player of JRPGs or just action games, just try hard on any game and just see how it is.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right.
Except Trails, don't do the hardest difficulty on Trails because you're just going to get your butt handed to you.
Yeah, that would be
annoying. Maybe start. Yeah, don't start on hard as I go. Just start on hard. Play on hard if anything.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Classic. Trails in the Sky. Don't do Nightmare. Don't do any of that. Don't do any Nightmare for Trails because on your first playthrough, because you're just gonna not have fun.
I will say this is a lot shorter, but I feel like they went for quality over quantity. So I beat it in about 25 hours. And
so wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like I know you had a review to get out.
Yeah.
Like, how much did you play? Did you speed through the game? Did you take your time, or was it a short game?
No, when I look back on what content I didn't do. So how do I explain this? So it has a repeated flow like other Falcom games have. So it goes something like this, like there's story where you walk around the city, you find out what's going on, then you typically explore a dungeon. Then you have these like small vignette segments where you explore the prison as a prisoner. And then you have time before the next story beat where you have to do side quests. And I pretty much did every side quest that became available because you need to do them not only to recruit party members for your base, but also because the city has these like magical barriers that don't unlock until you do certain things like side quests, or you fight these little mini portals that are scattered throughout the city. So I was basically did every side quest the game had. There is a very tiny section that I didn't go to, and the game is very collectible heavy. But what I like about the collectibles is you can pick them up in an instant. They're fun to get to because of the movement, and every time you get like 10 or 5 or whatever, you can go to a vendor and they'll give you an item. So there's a whole lot more collectibles to find. But as far as like mapping out I mapped out the entire city, did every side quest, mapped out most of the side areas. There's one section of a side area that I haven't gone to. But for the most part, I feel like if you were to platinum this game, I feel like it wouldn't take you more than like 50 hours. I think the only thing that would take a long time is if you had to replay it a second time. Because I think I looked at the Japanese trophies, but I couldn't tell what some of them were. But I think you get a trophy for beating the game, and then you get a trophy for beating it on hard, I think, or maybe it was Nightmare. But yeah, I definitely did go fast, but also I think it's just a shorter game.
Okay.
I think it's also just a shorter game because it's the first release. Because the Ys 8 that we're playing was like an enhanced edition with more stuff in it. Because
interesting. I didn't know that.
The original one was the Vita version. So I'm not sure. I never played the Vita version. I don't know if the Vita version of Ys 8 is shorter than the one on PS4.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right about that because the PS4 version, they added like the Dyna sections to it. I think that's what I heard from a friend of mine. I was like, that was probably for the best.
And the Dana,
Donna.
And the Donna forms. Those weren't in the original.
They weren't in the original.
If I had to make a guess, so there's this character in the game. I'm sure you've seen her in the trailers. Her name's Aprilis. She's like that hooded girl that kind of has the feather cloak. Have you seen her?
I think I've seen her. Is she the one that gives Otto his Noxtrum powers or something like that? Or
yeah, okay, she has like a gun or whatever.
Okay.
So I hope this isn't a spoiler. Skip ahead like 20 seconds, I guess, if you don't want to be spoiled. But she's not playable in the game.
Oh, so I didn't think so.
Yeah. So my thought would be if they do an enhanced version or they add content or something like that they might make her playable, because she is sort of like the expedition dump character. She'll just like show up and say things and then disappear for a long time. So there's like a lot of opportunity for her to be doing something somewhere. So yeah, I think that would be a fit.
I would love her to be stuff, but it seems like the game has been out for how long, and Japan hasn't even added any content to it yet. So
that's true, huh? I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I don't know. I think it came out in 2019, actually.
Jesus, really? What the freak?
Yeah, let's look this up.
I don't remember. Or early 2020.
What the freak is this? Oh, I actually went on the website. It's at their Wikipedia. The hell is wrong? Yeah, 2019. Yeah, 2019. September 2019.
Ooh, wow. Yeah.
Jesus, why the fuck does this one take so long? No, see, this is why we swore up and down it was coming out in 2020.
I think it got delayed. Didn't it get delayed? I don't remember.
I don't think it got delayed. I think it's just COVID happened. That's probably
COVID delayed everything.
Supposedly.
Okay, so when Ys 9 was first being shown, this is what I remember. They were like running around the city and all that stuff. It looked pretty barren. Like the world looked barren. Does the world still look barren in the final game?
I think I know what cutscene you're talking about. So those barren wasteland levels are that's like the Grimwald Nox. That's like the parallel universe version. The actual city is pretty dense. Like there's a lot to do. There's a lot of NPCs and stuff like that. But the Grimwald Nox levels are basically just like raid levels, more or less, where there's portals and you fight waves of enemies. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So you recommend Ys 9?
Yes. I'm going to go on record and say it's the best Ys game, like without question. Definitely the best story. I feel like I've never been invested in an Ys story. It's always been about the gameplay for me. And this was the first time where I felt like I really got invested in the story. Not only because, you're unraveling the mystery of what's happening, but also like each character gets a chance to breathe. Like you're not just giving them all the characters like randomly. Like each chapter you get a new character, and each chapter is sort of dedicated to that character. So you learn about their backstory and stuff like that. So it gives you a better chance to get attached to them or learn about them. Like there was one character that I never even fought with, but they had a really cool story storyline. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. At least they made that character's story, worth going through.
All right, so here's the questions. Let's go through the ease tropes. Does
Okay.
Adol lose his memory?
No memory loss. No.
Does a girl fall in love with Adol?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
It's
it's not like a big story beat, but like, yeah, I would say she does. Yeah.
And then Adol just leaves her.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Adol just leaves the continuous journey, right? At the end of the game.
Yep.
The tropes are still there, guys.
Yep. Hey, at least he didn't, shipwreck on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
But yes, high recommend. Early front runner for game of the year. It's really, really good.
Until Tales of Arise comes, and that blows everything out of the water. And then, Then I wake up. Actually, speaking of Tales, I just got some good news from our Discord today that apparently there's a Tales of Destiny DC English patch being worked on again. And I've only looked into it. Like, you download a patch right now, I don't know what's in it or anything, and I legally own the ROM of Tales of Destiny Director's Cut, so I'm able to patch it into English. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully this will be I'll be able to share the awesomeness of Tales of Destiny in English now. So
nice.
I'm excited about that. That's good. That's some good news for the Nick.
Nice.
Unless it gets cease and desist.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
I hate to ask this on the podcast, but does Tales of Destiny look like this, or this is just some type of enhanced version or something like that? Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. Maybe look at some fan made thing.
Are you gonna post a screenshot on the Discord?
Yeah, I'm trying to send it right now, but it looks like it's taking forever to send. I don't know what's happening. Processing. What do you gotta process?
Processing.
Okay, it's taking forever. When it comes up, then we'll address it for a quick second. But let's keep going.
Okay. Let me just see something real quick. That's an awful screenshot. That's also an awful screenshot.
I remember you showing me the ending, like, not cutscene, but the little cinematic moment. I love the look of that game where it's like the 2D sprites, but then the hand-drawn background. Yeah, it looks really cool.
It is a very pretty looking game. I mean, it's a PS2 sprite work game, so it's not going to be... Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. I enjoy it. I enjoy the look of that game. So let's move on to some questions.
Okay, I don't know why it's not working. This is weird. No, whatever.
We'll get it to work. We'll see it later. You sent it to the wrong person. Oh no. Okay, Surreal Killer asks, Bandai has dropped several Tales of 25th Anniversary tribute videos to the classic entries over the last month or so. Think we're going to get a sweet Tales collection for PS5, or will they just re-release them individually digitally?
That's a great question.
Of course, the ideal thing would be the collection. That would be the ideal.
Yeah.
But knowing Bandai, they're just gonna release them and have us buy one by one. That's where the most money is, I think.
I mean, yeah, that's where the money is, but are they even going to do that? I don't think so.
You don't even think they're going to release anything?
I don't think they're going to announce anything. I think they're just like, hey, remember when we were good at making Tales games? Yeah. Not like that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Like, we remember your game. That's all. That's about it.
I think the most painful part of those videos were they were showing the Tales games that the West never got. It's like, oh, don't, and this is from the English like YouTube Namco Bandai channel, and they were showing these videos like, oh, don't do this. This just hurts. Don't.
So they just throwing in y'all face that we just didn't get these games.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, remember these games? Oh wait, no, you don't because you didn't get them. Suck it.
Suck it.
Yeah.
You hate to hear it.
Yeah, it sucks. But yeah, maybe. I mean, the best hope is that they're gonna release the ones that the West haven't gone to the West as a collection. That'll be cool. But that's like a big wish. It's like Final Fantasy Tactics 2 being released, kind of thing, you know?
One can still dream, you know?
Yeah,
it's good to have
dream.
dreams.
One can dream, and that's a big dream, and I really wish it would happen, but, you know. Abron asks, are you on the train to the moon with GameStop?
Oh my god, we didn't talk about that at all, but yeah, that's been wild, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
I mean, no, I don't.
No.
They shut the Robinhood app down before I could even do anything. I was gonna try to do it, but then they halted trading and stuff. So I'm like, well,
yeah,
I can't, even if I wanted to.
I mean, if I had shares in GameStop before, maybe, but no, I'm not gonna waste my money because it's, you're just gonna lose money.
Well,
that's the thing about stocks. You just go into it thinking you're going to lose money.
That I think it's like gambling, right? Like you have to be comfortable. It's like if I put this money down, I have to be comfortable never getting it back.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I like hearing the stories of kids who got shares from GameStop that were worth like they got it for like $4 or $7 or something like that. $4 to $7, and for like their birthdays from their parents, and they're like, oh, they sold them and now they've made like $4,000 or $5,000. It's like, well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to happen.
I think somebody I know, they made like from GameStop, or they're like potentially making it like $300,000, and they quit their job. So I was like, damn.
I read somewhere that someone was able to make like $30 million.
Whoa!
And they lost. They went down though to like they lost 18 million in value, and he had like 14 million, and he's like, no, I must hold the line. I am not gonna sell my shares.
I would have sold. I don't care. You know, I know there's a lot of people that are like grandstanding. They're like, it's about standing up to the bad guys. I'm like, if I have 14 million, I don't give a shit. I'm taking my money.
I'm sorry. I'm running. I'm out, and then I'll stand by you guys afterwards after I get my money. Like, nah, I'll be good, man.
Let's take it like 3 million, right, and then keep the rest.
Yeah. But think about that. You gotta be careful with taxes, because I don't think they tax it out. They just give you the whole thing, and then they're gonna get your ass next year. So you better like not spend it all, or keep the tax, like keep 40% aside or something like that.
That's what I hear. Yeah, the capital gains are brutal on that stuff.
Yeah.
Jalapeno asks, try to collectively remember the plot of a game all three of us have played.
Remember the plot, like beginning, middle, end?
Yes.
So it starts off with a guy robbing a casino, okay?
Okay, that's going the easy route, man. That's going the easy route.
I'm trying to think of a game we've all played before.
Like I was gonna say, so there was a guy on a train riding to a factory, a reactor.
Mm-hmm. Go on. I've never heard this one before.
Yeah, me either.
Which game do you want to do?
Well, no, I think part of the fun is not knowing what game we're thinking and seeing if the rest can fill in the holes.
Okay.
So wait, do we like how does it work?
I know. I want to pick a game. Like I want to pick a game, but I don't remember like what you guys played.
I think I can get one that you guys all have played.
Okay.
You start out as this kid. He's from the big city. He's from the big city, but he has to go to the country and live with his uncle. And he meets a couple of people, and he has to jump inside places to figure out what's going on with these people because they're acting strange.
Is he like watching TV? Is that one of his hobbies?
He likes watching TV. I'm sure, why not? You know. You guys know what it is?
Okay, continue, Taylor. Continue the thing.
Yeah. So and then there's a serial murder on the loose, So, and you gotta try to find who the serial killer is. That's part of the fun.
I gotta say, this game sounds really almost like RPG of the decade material.
Yeah, some might even call it the best RPG.
And if I recall, there were a lot of weird weather. Lots of weird weather happening.
Yeah, there'd be some fog and some rain and
then some snow, and then constant fog. And then for some reason, there's this cult that appears out of nowhere that worships death, and then it got really dark and depressed. Oh wait, wrong game.
I'm about to say, I was like, what? It's like, we talking about the same game here?
And at one point they just have to take things easy. It's like, what, we got to stop looking for the serial killer. Let's just go on a camping trip, okay? We just got to go camping because camping's fun.
And then the fat girl broke one of the characters' bikes.
That's right.
Not bikes, scooters. Sorry,
scooters. That's right, mopeds, if you will.
Hey, you can't call her fat. She's big boned. What are you guys talking about, man?
Mm-hmm. Okay, no. She's the most beautiful girl.
Yeah,
in class.
She's thick with 3 C's. Okay.
And in the anime, one of the characters had to sleep in the same tent with her.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not.
That wasn't fun. So they find there was a copycat killer.
Mm-hmm.
And they found out that he's a copycat killer, and then they found the real killer, but then there was another killer after that. It was a big shocker of who the killer was.
It all comes together at the gas station now. That's where it really comes together.
Yes.
Tell me, there's a gas station location that's actually important. Like what? Huh?
So before all that, there's this girl who was just a random person in this bluish room, and the bluish room is constantly moving somehow. I don't know how, but it's constantly moving. It looks like a limousine. And there's this one girl that she's a guest, and you have to take her out and get to know her more. And then throughout your journey, when you find out that there's this evil entity controlling the other world. Mm-hmm. And then it got so bad that the other world started leaking out into the real world, and it was just constantly, foggy.
Interesting. Right. Go on.
No, it's next person.
Let's see here.
We're spoiling this entire game.
It's also very old.
And we also are being very vague. Yeah. The only people who would also get it are
the ones that have played it.
I've already played it.
Mm-hmm. But anyway,
so you defeat the big giant sphere, and the fog is all gone. So you go skiing.
Yeah,
and you get lost in a snowstorm, and you all find a little shack with a old piece of equipment in it, and it takes you to a forest. And apparently this forest is holding one of your friends. It's that girl that you were hanging out with. They were trying to show the world to.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently all the fog, which is the malice of the world, is now in her, and she's asked to disappear. So you have to fight that malice to save her. But she doesn't want to be saved. But you're you know what? Fuck your feelings. I'm going to save you anyway.
She just wants to sit in the corner and write bad poetry. Okay, exactly. That's what she wants to do. Just leave her alone.
Mm-hmm. 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 So you defeat that, and then you have a fun field trip, and you get shocked by lightning in a hot springs because you accidentally see her naked, and you die, and that's the end of the story.
Great game. Sounds like a 10 out of 10.
Yep. That gas station part really got me. That seems so amazing.
After you get resurrected after the ski trip, you you live out your rest of your school years, and then you start. I don't actually. Does this happen in the game where it constantly relives the same day over and over again?
That doesn't happen in the game. That's only in the anime. I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So on the day before you're about to leave, you have a party, and then you decide to say bye to everyone, and you meet this you go to the gas station to fill up your car, and it turns out the gas station attendant is the true villain,
Oh,
God.
man.
and you fight her, and then the end.
Oh man, that sounds interesting. You have to pay attention to that gas station.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
No, he would. They hint at it at the very beginning of the game, if you remember.
Hmm.
And someone talks. Oh wait, no, I keep getting the anime and the game confused, because I know they hinted it in the anime a lot too.
Yep.
Well, that's the game. We're not going to tell you what it is, but that's the whole.
That's the game.
That's the Cliff Notes vague version of that game.
Yeah.
You kill God. You kill 3 gods, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hookah Leconque asks, what's the most recent JRPG you had each played that didn't fully meet your expectations? For me, the most recent was Ni no Kuni 2, because the story sucked compared to 1, and the combat I felt was dumbed down. And Octopath Traveler, because I was led to believe that the stories were all intertwined, but once I found out...
Who told you this, huh?
Once I found out that they have nothing to do with each other, it killed my motivation to go on through the game.
You those things were intertwined. That game's been out for like what, 3 years now, and you don't. That's like one of the biggest things people hate against it. Like,
Maybe he got it when it first came out. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought you said recently. Okay. All right, fine.
I mean, Ni no Kuni came out a long time ago too. So, those are my. You know what's crazy? Those 2 were like my answers. Ni no Kuni 2 was super disappointing because it felt like it looked great, but did not feel like the same as Ni no Kuni 1 at all.
Yeah.
And Octopath Traveler, because it's the same reason. It's like, oh, it's not connected. No, I'll play it later.
I mean, it's still like it sucks that Octopath Traveler wasn't interconnected with the story, but it was still a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say East 8 so far, because it's just a slog for me to get through that game at this point. And it's not anything against the gameplay or anything like that, because I do like the gameplay. The graphics are just fine, taking into account that it was a video game. But it's a story that's just taking me out of it completely, man. I'm like, yo, can we just move on? I'm tired of these dino sections. Yeah, I said to myself while I was playing it, I was like, I could have lived without playing this game. I really I didn't need to play this game. Like, honestly, there's a reason it took me so long to finish this game, even though people are out here speedrunning it. But there's a reason that this wasn't a priority for me personally.
I mean, well, his speed run like completely skips all the Donna stuff. So,
yeah,
not all of it, but mostly, yeah.
Are you only playing it because of Ys 9?
Honestly, yeah, that's the only reason I'm playing it. At this point, before it was like, okay, this is a game on my backlog that I probably should have finished. I should have finished by now. But now it's just like, now I'm just beating it just to play the next game at this point.
It's fair. I mean, you don't need to play it, but I mean, hey, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. I was thinking about dropping it, honestly. I was like, I'm going to drop this game. I don't give a shit anymore. And I'm like, you know what? I'll finish it. Right after I'm done with Ryza, I'll go back to it, because I should have some time before Bravely Default 2 comes out, so I'll struggle through it. Don't have that much left.
The good thing is that they're not really connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like Final Fantasy games where they all, they're like self-contained stories, but they kind of some of them get referenced. Like
they are connected, but they're not needed to play.
Yeah. Let's see. Game that didn't quite live up to our expectations. Is that the question?
Yeah, live up to your expectations. Yeah.
Okay. Here's one. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad game. It just didn't live up to my expectations. And I'm going to say Xenoblade Chronicles, because all I heard about this game, it was the best Wii game. It was this amazing 10 out of 10 masterpiece. And I played it. And I'm like, it was pretty good, but it's not like perfect or a 10. I feel like its reputation precedes it. Like, it's going to be this amazing, life-changing game. And it was just pretty good. Like 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like as amazing as everybody was saying it was.
Like Symphonia. Yeah, I get it.
I feel like hype annihilated my expectations for that game. Not my hype, but everybody else's.
Damn it, Kimpy and Oz.
Oh my god, they just wouldn't shut up about that game. But yeah, still a good game. Just did not. It's not as amazing as everybody made it seem like it was going to be.
People would expect me to say Tales games, but no, they have never, disappointed me because I always know what to expect from a Tales game.
If you have no expectations, you can never be disappointed.
Exactly. It's a good way to go through games. Pigeon Senpai asks, what are the best toppings for a tomato sauce pizza?
Ooh, just cheese. Keep it simple. That's what I like.
See, I am just as simple, except I add one pizza topping. That's just a pepperoni. Just straight up pepperoni pizza. That's
You're
it.
so boring. What the heck?
Yeah, that's how I do. Like, it's interesting because for the longest time I was boring like that, but it was like a long time ago. I went to a convention with a friend of mine, and he was like, "Let's order Papa John's." I was like, "Yeah, okay, we go order Papa John's."
See, that's your
Whatever.
problem right there.
No, actually, it was good. No, it was actually good. It wasn't that bad. And I said, like, "Yo, can I get a cheese pizza?" Like, it's like, "Well, we're all gonna eat the pizza." It was like, "You just want a cheese pizza?" I was like, "Yeah," but it kind of felt like if I got a cheese pizza, it would have been bad. So my friend got this pizza with a whole bunch of toppings on it, and I'm like, "Fuck, I'm not gonna be able to eat this. It's gonna be terrible." And I eat it. I'm like, "Yo, this is amazing. This is really good." I can't remember the toppings he put on there, but it was like, damn, this is so good. I need to expand my horizons a little bit more on this. But I still didn't, and I still just go basic when it comes to pizza.
Interesting. I don't know. I feel like I go all over the place. Like my go-to for a long time was mushrooms and olives, but like I feel like my enjoyment of olives has lessened over the years. So now usually I go like mushrooms and sausage or something like that. Yeah. Gotta have some kind of sausage.
I remember back in the day when you put ketchup on everything.
I know. You know what's really funny is Matt even mentioned that the other day because we were watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. They were at a steakhouse and one of the guys wanted ketchup. And I'm like, ew, that's disgusting. Don't eat steak with ketchup. You know, I've had too many good steaks in my days. It's like either eat it with steak sauce or nothing. Steak.
I'm pretty sure you have eaten steak with ketchup.
Oh, for sure. I definitely have, but not in a very long time. I have respect for steak now. Okay, I wouldn't dare defile it with ketchup.
Yeah, don't do that. I did have a phase in which I was putting ketchup on everything. I put it on rice. I was like, yo, I was out of control with the ketchup. It tastes so good. I didn't know I like ketchup so much, and now I was like, okay, I gotta stop this because now I'm getting sick of it, and I'm like disrespecting food here.
See, you and Taylor are kindred spirits.
Yep. I think I put it on pancakes one time. I was like, all right, what? I'm out of control. I'm out of control here.
That day?
I don't know what I was doing. I was like, yo, I put it on ketchup. I was like, yo, this ain't half bad. I don't even need syrup. I was like, yo, what is wrong with me? I'm like, yo, I'm out of control. I need to stop with the ketchup.
Taylor, do you remember what's the weirdest thing you put ketchup on?
I remember the thing that your dad got mad at me about was fish. I remember we went to Hometown Buffet and I put ketchup on fish, and your dad was like, "What's wrong with you?" But
I put sriracha sauce on fish.
Hey, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, this is like back in the day when you're like 10, right? So
yeah, exactly.
you're a young
Crazy
lad.
that. Yeah. I don't think I was that young when I got the ketchup thing.
But I will say that I do like a good pesto chicken pizza. Good.
Ooh. Pesto chicken pizza. Never heard of that one. I gotta Google that.
Pesto, chicken, and cheese. No tomato sauce. But he said specifically tomato sauce. So.
That's true. That is true. I like me a good barbecue chicken pizza, but again, like he said tomato sauce. But
yeah, I like barbecue chicken pizza as well.
So good.
So wait, when you do barbecue chicken, you mean like the sauce is barbecue?
Yeah, it's barbecue sauce for
What? Have I ever had that before?
It's like it's like barbecue sauce, cheese, chicken,
onions. Yeah,
and maybe sometimes mushrooms. But yeah, that's what it is.
Interesting. Okay.
Will Kriplin asks, under what circumstances I wonder under what circumstance do you think a game refund is justified?
A game refund is justified if the game is like Cyberpunk in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Justified.
Either one, if it's totally busted, or two, you haven't played it yet. I think those are perfectly legit reasons.
Yeah, the game's glitchy and you can't play. Legit can't play it. Yeah, it's definitely justified for you to ask for a refund. But I do think the thing that I think Steam does, and maybe some consoles do, is like the 2-hour thing. If you play it for 2 hours and you don't like it, you can return it, no questions asked. I think that's a pretty cool thing. I haven't had actually no, I did do that with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It didn't perform too well on my PC, and I was like, nah, forget it. I'm just gonna wait to upgrade my PC before I play this one. And I returned it.
You know what? I did the same thing. I couldn't tell you what the game is, but I remember the same thing happened to me. I bought a game. I was super excited about it, and then it just ran like ass on my PC. I'm like, well, I gotta get my money back.
Yeah.
I think I know what that. I think that might have been an Alien game.
Maybe
it was a while. This is like 2010. That was how long it was.
Yeah, no, because I remember I beat Colonial Marines, unfortunately. I can't remember what it was though. Oh man, this is gonna bug me now. I wonder, does Steam keep track of that? I wonder.
Probably somewhere in your settings. Probably.
I'm gonna go look this up and see if it does. It has like your order history and stuff.
This is the GameStop in me talking, but I don't think you should be able to refund your physical copies. I think you should.
So you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
Okay, interesting.
Even if you haven't opened it yet?
Oh, okay. If you haven't opened it, yes, that's fine. If you have opened it and played it and used all the codes and everything, it's your fault for not doing research.
Well, what if somebody they're not like us. They don't know YouTube is a thing that exists, or they don't know they can just go online and do their research. But what if they just they're in the mall one day and there's like, you know what, I haven't gotten a game for my PS5 lately. Let me just go in there and see what's up. And they just buy the game because they think it looks good. And probably the staff told them that it was probably good, but the staff's terrible and doesn't have terrible taste.
No. I've had so many people back in the day try to return brand new games. No.
I can understand why you're not allowed to do it, because there are scumbags out there who literally just copy the game to their computer and then just can return it back.
I've abused that before. Okay, so it's not illegal what I did, all right? So back in the day, PS3 version of Portal 2 came with a Steam code. All right? So I bought it used. And I had the Steam code not used before, so I took the Steam code and entered it into my Steam account, put it back, got the Steam version for free, and then returned my used game. Okay. I played the system, all right?
Yeah, see, they got scumbags like you. Yeah. They can't be doing that.
It was a used game, okay? It wasn't brand new. It was used.
Oh, okay. It was used. Okay, yeah. That's what some people would do with used games as well. They did they'll play it for 5 days, beat it, and then just return it.
Yeah, a lot of people did that.
Yeah.
Yep. It was their thing. They would buy 3 games, and I think they had a 7-day return policy or something like that. Forgot how long it was, and then they'll play them, and then they'll return them full price.
So I found what game it was. It was PlayerUnknown's Battleground.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I remember it was a Steam game.
Wait, isn't that? I thought that was free.
Nope, $30.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember I loaded it up and I couldn't even get past the character select screen. It was just a disaster. I'm like, well, I want my money back.
See, the digital versions, I could totally justify the refunds. Just okay, you played it for 2 hours and you didn't waste anyone's time. You just downloaded something, it doesn't work, you don't like it, you can return it. It's the physical copies that I don't like returns on. If you open that shit, no, you're not gonna. You could trade it in, sell it on eBay like Taylor does.
Well, why? Well, wait, why do you feel that way?
Because one, it's impossible to sell those games again at full price.
This GameStop do that anyway?
No, they don't.
They only sell it $5 less.
So what they do is, I think those will be turned into used. Maybe I don't remember. It's been a long time since I worked there.
They be turned into used, but
they don't. The policies back in the day, because they're different now. I went to GameStop. I'm like, whoa, they're doing stuff really differently now. Back in the days, we would open one new one just so we could display it, which I thought it was stupid because people always freaking complained. It's like, this is not new. It's like, yes, it is. It's just it was just a display. Nothing.
Yeah, but the thing about that is people would complain that I can't return it. Then, like, why shouldn't I return it? You know, so you guys already opened it.
We would reseal it. We would actually reseal it.
That's funny.
Yep. But yeah, that was one of the things that I hated, was doing that. Because we would get freaking cover art sent to us. I'm like, why don't we just do a cover art and say put the new price on it? We don't have to open a brand new one. But no, corporate has to do all that shit and get a bad rap. Now look at what they're at. Their stock is like 500. Awful, right?
They've been doing they did something right.
No, the plebs did something right. Screwed over a hedge fund.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Keep it up.
Ned993 asks, what games did you have buyer's regret for?
What games?
Yeah.
Oh my god, how much time do we have?
Well, you have
Trails of Cold Steel, the PS4 version. I mean, I like that I bought it the first time just so I could play it. Buying it a second time and importing the European version so I didn't have the Steelbook edition, that whole rigmarole was not worth the time.
I remember you. I'm like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, I have my OCD. I can't have Steelbooks. I hate them. I want everything to look the same on my shelf. The Star Ocean and Integrity and Faithlessness, I remember that came out the same day as Tokyo Mirage Sessions. And I don't know why. At the time, I was like, Tokyo Mirage Sessions looks dumb. And so I played Star Ocean 5, and that game was terrible. The game was so bad.
That was a terrible-ass game.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah, that's also mine, too. Like, God, I hate that game.
Good pick. It's a great pick. What's another one? I think the most famous maybe is White Knight Chronicles 2.
Oh God, White Trash Chronicles. Oh my God.
I was just so desperate for a JRPG. I was like, fuck it, I'll buy White Knight Chronicles. I don't care. And then I played it. I'm like, it's so bad. Why? This game sucks.
But didn't you play mine for a little bit? And then you're like, okay, I'm going to buy this. And then you just...
I don't know what I did. I mean, I remember it was coming out. I don't even think I watched any reviews. I was like, I don't care. I'm just desperate for something. And yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, you played 2. Imagine playing 1.
Yeah. Ugh. Oh my goodness.
The battle system was way slow.
I remember the UI being the biggest thing for me. It was like it took up most of the screen. I was like, what the fuck is going on with this game?
They were making a single player MMO. That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. It looked like Final Fantasy 11, the UI.
Yeah.
And then the last one I think I'll say is I bought the 3DS remake of Dragon Quest VII, and it was one of those like I'm buying it to support the franchise kind of purchases. And I played it. I'm like, this game's so boring. I got like 5 hours in, and like I can't stand this game. It's so boring. I still have it, still on my shelf, I think, but yeah, waste of money.
I don't have any. I'm sorry.
You don't have any regrets. You enjoy every game you've ever bought, ever.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
I believe you.
I mean, I don't regret I bought a bunch of Disgaea games that I haven't played. Do I regret buying them? No, not really.
Do you regret buying Grandia Extreme?
No. It was good to experience the awfulness just so I could know that it was awful. I wanted to have the complete collection of Grandia, even if it was bad. Because Grandia Extreme was just... What happened to that?
It was extremely bad.
Okay, I need to make a video on that.
You do.
We're on the extreme. Yeah. What else do you think I would?
I think you. I mean, you had fun with this, but I think you regretted buying your Xbox One because you bought it for like Titanfall and then you like never played it again.
It was Titanfall and Plants vs Zombies.
Which eventually came to PS4.
Yeah, the second one did. Yeah. And I had a lot of fun playing Titanfall. The beta. It turned out the beta was the entire game.
Damn.
Yeah. 2 was so much better. 2 was awesome.
But I liked the mech combat more in 1. I like the combat more in 1. It was more immersive. It was weird. Like because I know in 2, you like whenever you got in the Titan, it goes into like a third person view going into the Titan, and then suddenly you're in it. In Titanfall 1, it was all first person, getting into the mech and like shutting the door and turning it on. It was, I don't know why they got rid of that. But the mechs felt a little heavier in 1, and I like that because I like MechWarrior.
Yeah.
Not saying Titanfall 2 is bad. Just I like the feeling in 1.
I think the biggest thing I have, now I think about it, is the Wii U.
Ooh.
The whole purchase of the Wii U is just a terrible. Even though it only had 2 good games, Xenoblade Chronicles X and Tokyo Mirage Sessions, I probably could tell my past self is you can wait to play these games. You don't need to play them now.
You play them later.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
Why do I have a Smash Brothers? That's the reason why I got it.
Oh yeah, Smash Bros. Also on Wii U, and that's still like a forgotten one too.
Yeah, it's the one that like I remember we played a lot of, but then like the Switch version came out and way better. Even that, we used to play Project M on the Wii.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah. Man, the Wii U sucked so much.
It's such a terrible console.
The sad thing is it had some good games, but yeah, all of them are available everywhere else now.
Yeah, just Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah,
that's the only one. Then you could forget about that console forever.
Yep, exactly.
Well, what about the remake of? I know you're not gonna like this, but the remake of
Wind Waker.
What's it called? Wind Waker. Yeah,
that'd be nice to have somewhere else. Yeah.
Because they remade all the Mario games from the Wii U, and that's now on the Switch. Why aren't they bringing the remakes of Twilight Princess, Wind Waker to the Switch?
That's a great question.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, I just thinking about the Wii U. It's just that was awful.
I mean, I remember I was at E3 the year they announced it, and everybody was like,
"Is this an accessory?
Is the tablet?" Nobody knew that there was a box because they never showed it. They thought the tablet was the machine.
Oh, I worked at GameStop. Everyone thought the Wii U was just an accessory.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Terrible. Awful. Awful. Awful.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about are there any good things about the Wii U?
No, it's not a damn good thing. Everything about it sucked.
So that's that's the regret right there is buying the Wii.
Yes.
And Star Fox Zero.
Oh, you bought Star Fox Zero, didn't you?
I did. And it's such an awesome game, except you have to aim doing this.
All the controls are so bad.
And the funny thing is, there's like a 2-player mode, and the second player plays like a normal Star Fox game. And it was way better playing the second player than playing the first player.
Sometimes Nintendo gets up their own ass with some of this stuff, you know, like,
yeah.
I remember when Splatoon 2 came out. I love Splatoon 2. It's so much fun. But there's this mode that's only available certain times of the day. I'm like, why is it only available for like 3 hours a day? Like, just leave it on. This is so stupid. And they're like, we know better than you how you want to play the game. Like, no, you don't. What are you talking about? Some of the design decisions are just bonkers, man. I just don't get it.
Oh, there's a game that you liked on the Wii U, Splatoon 1.
Splatoon 1, that was probably my most played game. I love Splatoon 1. That was fun. Yep. I think I bought it for Splatoon. No, well, I remember I bought it and then I had Wind Waker and Bayonetta 2 were the 2 games that I bought with it, and then Splatoon. Hey, I'm wearing a Splatoon shirt right now, actually.
Is Bayonetta 2 was that only on the Wii U for a while?
It's on Switch now.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was only.
Where's Bayonetta 3? Huh?
Hanging out next to SMT5, probably.
Well, at least SMT5 is actually like announced and shown off.
Do you guys hear about what they said about Bayo 3?
No,
just forget about it. Pretend like it doesn't exist, so you'll be surprised when you see it again. Like, what the heck?
That game literally was just on a whiteboard. They had nothing on that game.
Yep, I think you're right.
It's like, we need to sell something. We need to sell the Switch. What games can we say? Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4,
Yep,
SMT5. These games don't exist, sir. Just write it on a whiteboard, then they exist.
Yep. I'm sorry. That's exactly what it seems ridiculous, but that's exactly what had to happen.
Yeah. And they didn't have to do that because the Switch sold like crazy.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's the last question. So This will be the end of the episode. Thanks for listening. And if you want to ask your questions, ask on Twitter. Tweet at the main account, not at us. Or I mean, you can tweet at us, but it'll be better to do it at the main account. Or join our Discord. And yeah, thanks for listening, guys. And we'll be back next week. Hopefully, we'll see Tales of Arise and Final Fantasy Tactics 2.
Hell yeah.
See you guys.
Bye.